You know what genuinely makes me really happy in this kind of climate we're in right now? I have often tried to find ways to understand, I guess, women that are gonna vote for Donald Trump. Just tried so hard to understand where these women are coming from and what they see in him as a president. And then I decided this morning that I am actually really happy that I don't understand where these women are coming from and that I can't, no matter how hard I try. I don't want my brain to be able to rationalize or understand women that hate other women so much, that hate other people so much, that they would vote for Donald Trump. I'm just glad my brain can't comprehend that my brain isn't wired that way.
You know what genuinely makes me really happy is getting online and publicly admitting that my brain is too stupid to actually try to figure out why it is that one half of America could possibly think differently than I do. It brings me such joy to publicly admit that my brain is too stupid to actually try to figure out what it is that makes one half of America think and vote differently than me. This is such a pathetic video to send out, such a pathetic message to put out, because you're basically admitting that you are either too stupid or too lazy to actually do the legwork and genuinely try to figure out what it is that might attract your fellow Americans to Donald Trump, and attract quite a few of your fellow Americans, by the way, to Donald Trump. Because see, you didn't actually try to figure it out. You didn't actually try to put yourself in their shoes. When you approach someone with the idea that you cannot possibly disagree with me for any honest reason, for any moral reason, for any even neutral reason, it must be because you're hateful. It must be because you're attracted to hateful men. It must be because you hate women or you hate black people or whatever the case may be. Then you're not genuinely trying to understand the other person. You're bringing your whole baggage with you and approaching them with all of that heat, all of that fire, all of that baggage. You're not actually going to get anywhere. You're not genuinely trying. And you know what? This race is really close, right? They keep telling us this race is really close, which means that half of America, at least half of likely voters, see the world differently than you do. And you have two options there. You can either say that half of America, half of likely voters, woke up one day and chose Nazism, or they were all dormant Nazis, and the rise of Donald Trump gave them the confidence to get out in public and be their Nazi selves, or the much more rational, reasonable, practical response, which is these people might have an honest reason for supporting Donald Trump. These people might have a different perspective on the world, a different perspective on this country, a different idea of what the policies are that are best for the United States of America. Maybe it's not all hate. Maybe it's not all fascism. Maybe it's not all Nazism and white supremacy and this and that. Maybe there's a legitimate reason why half of America supports this man, half of likely voters. Maybe, just maybe. And I'm actually blessed because I used to be a Democrat. I used to be a liberal. I voted for Obama and Hillary. And it doesn't take too much cognitive legwork for me to figure out what it is that attracts my fellow Americans to the Democrats' stated policies, to their messaging, to the Democrat Party. I can easily understand what it is that gets a person there and keeps them there. It doesn't require a lot from me because I used to be there 4 years ago. But if you are someone who's never evolved, never changed your mind, never shifted your perspective on something, never been presented with new information, and then significantly shifted your beliefs, your politics, your whatever, well, then you might need to do a little bit of legwork to try to figure out how it is that someone with a totally different perspective from you got to that perspective. You might have to do that. And you know why you have to do that nowadays? Because politics didn't used to divide families. It didn't used to tear apart relationships, but it does nowadays. And you know why that is? It's not because Donald Trump hates black people or hates women or whatever it is that you think. It is because y'all decided that Donald Trump hates black people and hates women. And so obviously his supporters must also hate black people and hate women and hate whoever it is, whoever it is that you think that he hates and they hate. So y'all are the reason why you need to do the legwork. You need to try to figure out why it is that half of Americans support this man, because you have brainwashed yourselves and programmed yourselves to believe that this man is so hateful and so awful and such an ogre that there is no honest reason, no moral reason, no even neutral reason why somebody might support him. And that's how we get to the point where politics destroys relationships and destroys families and maybe destroys this country. Because where do you go from there when one half of this equation thinks that the other half is full of hate? I understand why someone might vote for Kamala Harris. I get it. I think it's ignorant. I think it's an awful decision. I think it's the wrong decision, but I get it. Especially given our current climate and the heavy media bias, I get it. And I love people in my immediate family who are Democrats and are probably voting for Kamala Harris. And I don't love them any less and I don't treat them any differently because I get it. It is no point of pride to get online and publicly admit that you just don't get it.